Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And this article comes from the Urgent Communications. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out. So one thing that I wanted to cover now that we started 2024, FirstNet Authority validates AT&T completion of initial NPSBN 5-year build-out. So the FirstNet build-out, the initial 5 years is done. They met the goal. It's all completed. AT&T completed its initial 5-year build-out of FirstNet nationwide public safety broadband system, NPSBN, on time, on budget, based on validation by FirstNet Authority personnel conducted throughout much of this year, according to FirstNet Authority Board President Ricardo Carrizo, if I said that right. So that comes from the Band 14 deployment. And AT&T was able to hit and meet that goal. Now, what comes next? So that means all of the first AT&T sites have been touched. New deployments have developed and have been deployed. And towards the end of it, right, AT&T started claiming having the nation's native largest wireless network in the United States. And technically that's true, because Verizon, over the years, they have obtained their large nationwide footprint with some roaming. I forgot what it was called. I think it's called ARAT or something like that. But it's smaller rural carriers that are using Verizon's assets to deploy a regional network of their own, but Verizon customers get to use it like it's a native network. And that's something that AT&T never did. They built it out. They got the FirstNet contract, and they've been building out. And now, per the FCC statistics and per AT&T's claim, they have the largest native network in the United States. Now, that's still probably going to be debated in the comments, and some of you will say, well, this is my experience, and that's fine. You know, anecdotal is okay. A lot of people choose a carrier of where it works for them, where you work, live, and you play. And some carriers just don't cut it. But in this case, you know, this is a huge accomplishment for FirstNet, but they have work to do. They have churn within the base still, I'm told. These customers are churning back to Verizon, especially on the western side of the country. So I think there's just a lack of overall coverage. I don't think it's the Band 14 anymore. I think they have that deployed on all sites. I think they did meet that goal for sure. But overall coverage, right, especially on the western side of the country, I still think they lack coverage in some cases where Verizon has it, right? The 55 or so percent, it's very close. I think it's like a 0.5% difference between Verizon and AT&T. But that could be the difference of, you know, Verizon covering a certain part and AT&T covering a certain part. And then we still got to think about that roaming. So Verizon may have coverage natively on the western side more than AT&T, but they match AT&T's footprint in another part of that country with the roaming that they don't include as the native network. It's native to the Verizon customer, but Verizon doesn't include it as native coverage because they don't own the rights to the network itself. They own the spectrum and assets, but not the network. So just interesting, just some thoughts, something for you guys to think about. And what do you want to see next from AT&T when it comes to the FirstNet and requirements and build-outs? Do you really want to see AT&T just go all out, above and beyond, and have coverage every single where? And that makes sense because they are the network for first responders, so you would expect and anticipate them to have the largest network once and for all. They should have coverage in every indoor building, in every subway, everywhere there's a person. AT&T needs to have coverage. None of these no service areas anymore. Like if you're traveling in New York through the subway, I recently saw a video of a content creator. They were filming a iPhone 15 Pro, I believe, review, and they were traveling the subway and they were using AT&T, clearly saw the 5G plus symbol. And there were a few instances where they had no service in the subway. So that should be unacceptable, right, if you're a first responder. So those are just some of my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if they should have service and coverage everywhere since they are the official network for first responders. So make sure you guys stay tuned for more. If you're new, like, share, subscribe, follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. See y'all in the next one. Peace.